Hello, my wild and adventurous Sagittarius souls. Welcome back to Cosmic Treasure, the sacred space where we aim our arrows at the heart of the cosmos to reveal the profound truth of your magnificent journey. I want you to come closer now to truly listen, not just with your ears, but with that fiery, truth-seeking heart that makes you the sacred explorer of life's greatest mysteries. Have you ever felt it? Not a gentle nudge, but a sudden, brilliant spark in the depths of your spirit. A restless wind that seems to blow from the farthest corners of the universe, calling you to expand. A profound and unshakable knowing that rises like a supernova in your being, signaling that you are on the verge of a magnificent, divinely guided adventure. That feeling, my dear Sagittarius, is not your imagination. It is a destiny-altering command. A divine arrow released from the bow of God, aimed directly at the next grand chapter of your soul's evolution. A great expansion is upon you, not as a destination, but as a sacred invitation to embrace a wider world. A lingering weariness that has been dimming your inner fire is about to be blown away, not to erase your battles, but to finally set you free. And a profound spiritual clarity is rising within you, like a brilliant dawn preparing you to cross a horizon you thought was forever out of reach. Understand this: nothing in your life, especially now, is a coincidence. You were guided here to receive this. If this message is already igniting the fire in your spirit, if you can feel the truth of this cosmic call, I invite you now to seal this connection with us. Let a like on this video be your sacred declaration to the universe that you are ready to expand and claim your adventure. Share this message with another Sagittarius soul you love, for their spirit may also be restless with this need for more, waiting for this confirmation. And if you haven't already subscribed to Cosmic Treasure, let it be a sacred pact between us, a promise that ensures you will never miss a single divine update meant exclusively for your journey. And in the comments below, I want you to share a moment when your intuition, your inner compass, guided you toward a life-changing truth or adventure. Let's create a beautiful map of our shared quest for wisdom. Now let us dive deeper into the first wave of this profound message, the powerful yet soul-stirring truth that has arrived to greet you. My dear Sagittarius, let me whisper a profound truth to you. When we speak of a calling for you, we are not speaking of a quiet hum. Oh no. For a soul as fiery and expansive as yours, a calling is a celestial event. It is a starburst in your spirit, a summons from your own divine will that has been awakened just for you. This is the sacred energy of temperance, the first divine messenger to appear in your reading. I want you to place a hand on your heart for just a moment. Can you feel it? That deep internal yearning for something more meaningful. It is a new alignment in your soul, a sudden harmonization of your spirit, a moment of absolute clarity in the middle of a chaotic day. That, my beautiful friend, is the alchemy of temperance beginning its work. It does not come to restrict you or force you onto a narrow path. It arrives as a divine bridge, a celestial pathway meant to carry you out of a long period of extremes and imbalance. It is the universe gently but firmly showing you a higher way, reminding you that you have been called. Not called to abandon your passions, but called to blend them into a purpose-driven life. Your new path has been prepared in the unseen realms, and I have always believed that when a soul feels this intense inner pull towards balance, it is because God has personally mixed the divine ingredients for their next masterpiece. It is a signal that your period of restlessness, of feeling pulled in a million directions or stuck in a cycle of all or nothing, is officially over. Think of those quiet moments gazing at the stars when your soul suddenly aches for a deeper meaning, for a journey that nourishes your spirit, not just your wanderlust. Or when a profound sense of purpose washes over you, and you just know with every fiber of your being that you can no longer live a fragmented life. That is the energy of temperance at work. It is a call to integrate and advance beyond old philosophies that no longer serve you, beyond the impulsive urges that led to burnout, beyond the belief that you must choose between freedom and stability. You are not merely a person living a life. You are a magnificent soul on a sacred quest for your own divine truth. Many people see the stillness of this card and mistake it for inaction. But I see the truth, and so does the universe. This is not a pause. It is a sacred recalibration. It is an invitation to finally walk your path with intention to integrate the wildness of your spirit with the wisdom of your soul, to honor the lessons of your past, but refuse to be defined by them. Temperance arrives with a gentle but firm command to find the middle way, not to cause you pain, but so you may face the future with a new posture. The posture of a soul who knows they are the master of their own spiritual alchemy, guided and protected by God. Recall all the times your spirit has longed for a true north, sometimes in a hopeful prayer for guidance, a beautiful daydream that ignites your soul. And sometimes, let us be honest, in a whisper of exhaustion, a fleeting thought that you might be running in circles forever. But whenever your heart yearns for more, that vibrating energy touches the very fabric of the cosmos. And today, Sagittarius, God has heard and answered. When the divine gives you the blueprint for a higher path, no old habit, no fear, and no past mistake can hold your journey back. This is the signal you have been praying for. The time has come. You are no longer just an explorer. You have been chosen to become a sage. Perhaps you have waded through so many draining days, feeling as though every effort was either too much or not enough. You have watched others find their steady rhythm while you felt like a fire burning too bright or a spark about to go out. But temperance is here to remind you that your journey was not flawed. It was simply preparing. The universe was waiting until you were truly ready to handle the profound wisdom that lay on the road ahead. And this moment right now is your readiness. This call is not here to tame you. It is here to empower you. It is here to awaken the long-slumbering master within you, the truths you tucked away for safety, and the immense resilience you had forgotten you possess. Imagine your path illuminated by a brilliant golden light, not paved by a human hand, but by the very hand of the divine. It is paved with an assurance of higher purpose, a celestial promise that you are never, ever walking this path alone. The miracle of temperance is not just its power to balance, but its capacity for synthesis. This is your moment to honor your past without being a prisoner to it. It is time to thank the experiences that taught you, and most importantly, my dear Sagittarius, it is time to release the weariness you have carried from fighting so many battles. You cannot walk a glorious new path while your eyes are still scanning the horizon for the next fight. You are being called not because your past is perfect, but because your future is ready. And in the eyes of the cosmos, that is the most sacred state of being. But as this divine light of integration pours into your life, be aware, for a light so brilliant inevitably illuminates what was once hidden in the shadows of your own warrior spirit. Your higher path is ready, but it first reveals the heavy armor you might be unintentionally still wearing. When the celestial alchemy of temperance first began to stir, you felt a surge of hope, a beautiful and powerful confirmation that your soul was being summoned to a more meaningful future. But shortly after that luminous call, a different energy may have begun to weigh on your spirit. A quiet, subtle feeling of defensiveness, a sense of exhaustion, a wariness you couldn't quite shake. This, my dear Sagittarius, is the energy of the Nine of Wands, which has appeared like a sacred mirror reflecting a truth that you had not yet fully faced. It whispers of a lingering posture, one that has been braced for the next battle, not with the intention of aggression, but with a deep, weary resilience. Somewhere in your energetic field, you have been standing guard not for what is coming in peace, but for what might attack. This is the card of the wounded warrior, of being so accustomed to fighting for your freedom and your truth that you remain on high alert even in times of peace. Sagittarius, I want you to journey inward for a moment. Have you ever felt it? That sharp pang of suspicion when a good opportunity arises, immediately looking for the catch. You believe your focus is on the future, but a spirit as tried as yours carries the echoes of its past battles within it. Have you ever found yourself mentally preparing for an argument that hasn't happened, bracing for criticism that hasn't come? The Nine of Wands lays this truth bare. It is here to tell you with gentle but firm clarity that a part of your precious energy is still being given to old wars. Some part of you is still standing on a battlefield long after peace has been declared. Now listen to me closely. I have always believed that this spiritual weariness does not stay in our lives to punish us. It stays to be honored. It is a divine, albeit painful lesson from the universe designed to help us see the depth of our own strength and courage. Because without experiencing this shadow, my dear fiery soul, you might never fully appreciate the profound peace that is now being offered to you. Your scars are like a constellation. They don't represent your entire being, but they map out a journey of a warrior who refused to fall. And once you have honored them, you can gently lay down your staff. Perhaps you have already been sensing the small signs, the fragments of this hidden truth. A quickness to anger over a small misunderstanding. A sudden reluctance to trust a new person for fear they might betray you like the last. An unusual exhaustion that settles over you for no apparent reason. All of these are just scattered pieces of a puzzle until the Nine of Wands appears and arranges them into a single coherent picture. And that picture says, you are being held back not by an external enemy, but by your own strong, resilient, and battle-weary spirit. But you must remember this, you are not here to be a victim of your past fights. God does not leave you to stand guard forever. The universe has gifted you with the most powerful weapon imaginable, your unquenchable fire. That sacred inner spark of optimism and passion is the greatest gift you possess. For years, you may have been proud of your resilience, of your ability to take a hit and keep going. You may have been told you need to be less naive. But the truth is that fiery spirit is your divine superpower, a sacred instrument that allows you to inspire hope where others see only defeat. And in this moment, you have the divine right to gently lower your guard without betraying your strength. You owe no one an explanation for the peace you are now being called to embrace. You do not need to justify why you are ready to stop expecting a fight and finally receive the blessings that are coming in love. Your spirit is the language of your soul, and your soul never needs to ask for permission to rest. Ask yourself, how many times have you felt a new joy only to feel a pang of anxiety, as if being at peace is a betrayal of the warrior you once had to be? How many times has your spirit felt heavy after a beautiful day, as if an old fight has been stirred? The Nine of Wands provides the answer. It is an energy of vigilance. It is a divine sign that you are in an energetic state where you are honoring past battles more than you are embracing present peace. If you are nodding your head right now, if a specific memory or feeling has just come to your mind, believe with all your heart that the universe has just confirmed your feeling as undeniably true. Sagittarius, you were born with a spirit capable of exploring entire galaxies, but that does not mean you must forever live on the battlefields of yesterday. Some challenges come into your life only to test the strength of your will to live in joy, so that you may finally learn the sacred art of laying down your arms. And when you learn this lesson, you do not need to forget the past or react with anger. You simply know with a quiet and unshakable certainty that you must stand down. This is not weakness, my dear. This is the ultimate act of self-preservation. It is you finally honoring the sanctity of your own present moment. The Nine of Wands is a weariness, yes, but more than that, it is an empowering call to action. It says, honor the battles you have won, but do not be afraid to live in the peace you have earned. For the joy that now stands before you is more than enough to fuel your entire world. But how do you navigate this, my brave Sagittarius? How do you honor your past without letting it imprison you? The universe has an answer. And it arrives with the next card, a beautiful reminder that your greatest power has been within you all along. After the sacred call of temperance and the revealing shadow of the Nine of Wands, a new energy now blazes into your space. It is bold, it is passionate, it is divinely inspired, and it is magnificently powerful. The Knight of Wands has arrived, my dear Sagittarius, and he is a reflection of you. He comes as a divine reminder that your soul was never ever meant to stand still. In the very core of your being, God has placed a sacred, unquenchable fire. It is called your passion. It has never betrayed you. The only times it has ever failed you were the times you were too weary to let it burn brightly. Perhaps lately you have been feeling uninspired, a weariness in your spirit that no amount of rest can cure. Maybe you've been feeling overly cynical or an unnamed persistent sense that the world's pessimism is clinging to you long after you've logged off. Do not dismiss these feelings as mere burnout. That is your soul loudly knocking on the door of your consciousness. It is your internal fire alarm divinely designed to help you recognize when your spirit's flame is growing dim. But even more than that, it is a sign that you are being profoundly reignited. A sacred, inspiring energy, perhaps from your ancestors, perhaps from a creative muse, or perhaps from the divine masculine aspect of God itself, is riding toward you at full speed, shouting encouragement into your spirit and helping you build a planks bonfire for your heart that no cynicism can extinguish. I have always believed that for a Sagittarius, passion is the greatest truth of all. It is the ability to see potential where no one else does, to chase a dream with a fervor others cannot fathom. In this world, people can hide behind practicality and logic that mask their true desires. But your heart, your sacred bonfire of light, will always tell you where the adventure is. It will show you where life is vibrant and where stagnation is pretending to be safety. You may have no logical proof, no tangible evidence to present to the world, but your spirit simply knows. And God gave you this fire not for you to doubt yourself, but for you to charge forward long before a shadow ever has a chance to fall upon your path. Sagittarius, never forget that your passion is a sacred vehicle, and you are its masterful rider. The Knight of Wands speaks not only of energy, but of profound spiritual momentum. He does not hesitate with cautious steps when faced with an opportunity. He sees it, he desires it, he moves toward it with divine confidence. He does not need to analyze to prove he is wise, because he knows that his spirit, like a wildfire, is powerful enough to clear a path for both the new growth and the old wisdom. And that is how you must stand now, not by denying the past, but by using its lessons as fuel, confidently discerning which direction ignites your soul and courageously riding toward your sacred purpose. The most profound lesson this card brings is to trust your own inspiration. If your body is inexplicably energized when you think of a new project, trust it. If your spirit is yearning for adventure and movement, trust it. If your soul screams at you that it's time to drop the heavy shield, even when the world tells you to stay guarded, trust it. This is God using your very body, your mind, and your heart as holy instruments to deliver a message, to let you know that you are being guided to a place of action and creation. You have no idea how many times your spirit has already known the next step long before your mind agreed to it. Sometimes God does not send angels with wings to appear before your eyes. Instead, he places a powerful bolt of inspiration directly into your soul. He knows you will believe it because it echoes with the familiar, exciting wisdom of your own spirit. This is the most sacred call to adventure imaginable. No one can ever take it from you unless you yourself choose to dismount your own fiery steed. Remember this: you are not merely a survivor of life's battles. You were chosen by the cosmos to be a beacon of possibility. Your profound optimism is undeniable proof that you have a direct line to the heart of the universe. The divine inspiration you are receiving right now is the clearest sign that you have never had to face your weariness alone. Lean into that infinite source of energy. Know that as long as you keep your spirit centered in your own truth, no memory conceived in the shadows can ever truly hold you back. And yet, as the Knight of Wands finishes his fiery message, one question still hangs in the cosmic air. If all these signs are pointing to a single lingering weariness, why has it held on for so long? What deep hidden fear stands behind it all? The final card will reveal this sacred secret, and it will change the way you see everything. My dear Sagittarius, as the passionate, inspiring hand of the Knight of Wands rests upon your shoulder, your spirit finally understands and accepts the profound truth that it is time to charge towards the future. But then, as if a final heavy veil is slowly being drawn aside, the next card appears, the Devil. Now I want you to take a deep breath. Many are unnerved by the intensity of this card, associating it with evil and punishment. But the truth, the sacred truth, is that it does not come to condemn you. It comes to liberate you. It has arrived to expose the real reason you have been standing guard for so long, so you can finally see the origin of the invisible chains that may have been binding your beautiful free spirit. Remember this: Sagittarius limitation rarely appears as a locked cage. It is almost always born from a choice we mistake for freedom. It rises from a fear of lack, from deep-seated beliefs that we must chain ourselves to something stable or secure in order to survive. The devil whispers that somewhere deep within you there has been a fear of true, untethered freedom. You could not fully embrace peace. You could not bear to put down your shield because in the shadows of your mind, the idea of having no structure, no guaranteed paycheck, or no predictable path seemed far more terrifying than the familiar exhaustion of the fight. And so, in a misguided act of self-protection, you held onto a chain, a job, a belief, a pattern, not as a punishment but as an anchor, hoping that by staying with the known limitation you might avoid an unknown chaos. But you must hear me now, Sagittarius, and let this truth sink into the very marrow of your bones. No illusion forged in the fire of your own fear can ever imprison a soul that has been chosen for expansion by God. The chains of perceived security are only strong when you forget that the fire of your own spirit can burn through any bond. You may have been feeling a prolonged sense of being stuck as if you are running on a treadmill. You may have seen opportunities for true freedom pass you by for no clear reason. You may have been plagued by a feeling of being a fraud, preaching freedom while living in a cage of your own making. None of that is a sign that you are weak. It is a sign that you have been held energetically in a space where your own mind wanted to keep you safe from a future it could not control. I believe with all my heart that God allows these things to happen not to destroy us, but to awaken us. It is a profound cosmic lesson to help you discern true freedom from the illusion of it. It is the universe teaching you that true security is not about having a safety net. It is about trusting that you can fly. And if your mind attempts to keep you bound by invisible threads of practicality, that is not strength, it is fear, it is illusion. And you, my dear, were not born to be an anchor for your own security blanket. Ask yourself, how many times have you felt inexplicably trapped, as if you could not take the leap even when your spirit was screaming to jump? How many times have you felt stuck in patterns of obligation or materialism that you could not logically understand how to escape? The devil provides the answer. Those are the invisible chains, energetic ties forged from a fear of poverty, a fear of chaos, or even an unconscious belief that you do not deserve a life of joyful, untethered freedom. But here is the most magnificent truth, the divine paradox you must engrave upon your heart. The very moment your fear of lack rises to hold you in place, it unwittingly summons the universe as a witness. And the universe never ever sides with stagnation. That single act of self-imprisonment rings the celestial bell of temperance and activates the divine fire of the Knight of Wands. You think you are keeping yourself safe, but in reality you have just revealed the very key to your liberation. This is your moment to choose. Will you continue to stand in that comfortable material landscape enduring the invisible chains because they have become familiar, or will you dare to trust your spirit to embrace your inner fire and to ride your steed out into the plostay? Brilliant, unknown horizon that awaits you. The devil is not the jailer, my friend. It is merely the mirror showing you exactly what you need to break free from. And once you see it, you cannot look away. Sagittarius, remember this: no illusion can exist once you recognize the divine power you hold. God placed the key of liberation in your hand the moment you were born. And today, through this powerful message, he is whispering, turn the key, break the chain. You no longer belong to the shadows of fear. You may honor your need for security, for your spirit is vast and practical. But honoring does not mean servitude. You may feel compassion for the part of you that was afraid, but compassion does not mean allowing it to continue riding your steed into a ditch. Forgiveness is for you, so that you may ride forward lightly, no longer carrying the weight of old limitations in your heart. Look deep inside and be honest with yourself. You already know what the chain is. You have felt its presence. You have seen the strange patterns. You have felt the spiritual drain. And now the universe is simply confirming that what you have sensed is real. But do not be afraid. For at the very moment your fear whispered in the darkness, your courage was also being roared in the light. Take a deep breath. Imagine before you stands your magnificent steed, its coat shimmering with a fiery golden light. Behind you, the cage of the past tries to pull you back to hold you in place. But in your hand, you feel the familiar, solid weight of the reins. You take hold, you swing yourself up, and you command the steed forward. An unimaginable light from the rising sun pours in, and as it touches you, all the invisible cords and chains of fear around you simply turn to smoke, vanishing as if they never were. This is the truth the devil brings. It is not here to terrify you. It is here to tell you with unshakable certainty that your time has come to be free. And so, my dear Sagittarius, after this profound journey, after the illusions have been exposed, and the light of truth has poured in, you may feel a lingering sense of confinement in your spirit, as if your sacred open road has been cluttered with the roadblocks of yesterday. But this is the exact moment to turn the page, to open a fresh chapter where you and you alone are the cartographer of your soul's map. This is the moment for the sacred ritual of clearing your path and reclaiming it for the light. I want you to close your eyes again just for a moment. Imagine you are standing at a crossroads under a vast, star-filled sky. Before you lies the path of your destiny, but it is overgrown with the thorny vines of old fears and blocked by the heavy boulders of past limitations. This path belongs to no one else. It cannot be walked by unwanted guests, altered or marked by another's doubt. This is the path of your spirit, the sacred road that God Himself mapped for you at the dawn of your creation, and only you have the divine right to decide how you will travel it. For years you have allowed old battles to leave their scars here, sometimes as honored monuments which left beautiful, powerful imprints, but other times as lingering roadblocks which left the way treacherous and filled with shadow, or as chains of fear. You could not name which left gates and horizons sealed shut. From this moment forward, you no longer need to navigate any terrain that does not belong to your vibrant future. This is your moment to take up your bow of pure light and clear your path so you can travel as you truly are, a being of divine freedom and infinite potential. Picture yourself holding this luminous bow. It feels familiar yet powerful, and with each breath you begin to draw it back. You aim your first arrow of light at the thorny vines of anxiety, and as it strikes, they instantly burst into brilliant, harmless sparks and vanish. You aim the next at the heavy boulders of self-doubt, and they crumble into shimmering dust. When you reach the final gate locked by the chain of fear, you open it wide. It is more than just an action. It is a sacred declaration. It is a decree to the entire cosmos. This is my sacred path. I belong to the truth. I am a child of God. I am divinely protected, guided, and loved. My spirit is sovereign, and my journey is limitless. Perhaps a small fear rises within you, a tiny whisper that asks, "Am I truly strong enough to face the unknown?" The answer, my beloved Sagittarius, is a resounding yes. For even if your hand trembles as you draw your bow, feel the gentle, steady hand of God resting upon yours, guiding your every move. You are not performing this ritual alone. Your ancestors, your guides, and all the beings of light who watch over you stand on the horizon, their collective light pouring down, enfolding you in an embrace of unconditional support. Your soul, though it was once weary, is now beginning to sing a powerful melody of freedom. Let each breath you take be an affirmation of this new reality. Clear the path with gratitude for the painful lessons that ultimately brought you to this moment of liberation. Clear the path with forgiveness, forgive the past, so that your spirit may become light, no longer bearing the weight of its chains, and above all, clear the path with love. A profound, all-encompassing love for yourself, for the brilliant adventure you are riding toward, and for the sacred journey that God has so meticulously arranged for you. This is not just an exercise of the imagination, my dear. This is a profound truth of the soul. You are actively reclaiming your energetic signature on your sacred path, where no one can ever defile it, where only truth and expansion are permitted to travel. And as you fire the final arrow, you will feel it. A great burden lifting from your shoulders, the last of the bindings dissolving. A sense of peace and excitement washing over you like a cool, energizing wind. Let this sacred ritual be your vow. From this day forward, you will no longer allow the past to define you. You will no longer allow the shadows of fear to keep you captive. You are the alchemist. You are the knight of your own spirit. And you ride into the next magnificent chapter of your life, From a place of pure divine light, whisper these words to your soul. I am light. I am truth. I am the adventure that God named for me. I reclaim my path with my own hand. When you open your eyes, the world outside may not have changed in an instant, but within you a change has occurred deep, powerful, and irreversible. You have become free. And this, my beautiful Sagittarius, is only the beginning. For after you have reclaimed your sacred path, a greater question awaits. What magnificent wisdom will unfold as you ride into this entirely new chapter, and what divine gifts will be offered now that you have chosen your own future over anyone else's past? Remember, the burdens you held were never meant to imprison you. They were an invitation to see more clearly, to love yourself more deeply, and to reclaim the magnificent freedom that has always been yours. Thank you for sitting in this sacred space, for listening, and for believing in your own divine light. May God grant you everlasting joy, unshakable courage, and the clearest of paths. You are loved, you are free, and your greatest adventure is just beginning.